Good afternoon. Welcome to the Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Assemblymember Cole.
Here.
Dickman.
Here.
Edgeworth.
Present.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Hibbets.
Here.
Howdigi.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Monroe Moreno.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Nadim.
Present.
Chair Mosca.
And I am here. Thank you, everybody, for coming here this afternoon, to those in Carson City, those of us in Las Vegas, and those of us by video conference. Before we begin, I'll make several housekeeping announcements. Please silence your electronic devices. If you wish to testify, please sign in at the table at the door and provide a business card. When testifying, please turn on the microphone and clearly state and spell your name for the record, which helps our committee secretary, and state any affiliation. Then turn off the microphone each time you're done speaking. There are hard copies of the meeting materials available for the public, as well as electronic copies on the Nevada Legislature's website. Public comment will be taken at the end of the meeting. Each person will be limited to 2 minutes. In addition, the public may submit written testimony to the committee up to 24 hours after the meeting. We expect courtesy and respect in our interactions during the meeting, even if we may not agree with one another's positions. And finally, committee members may be using their laptops to view handouts and other documents. Please do not see this as a sign of disrespect or inattention. And with that, our first item of business today will be our work sessions. So I will remind our members that we are not rehearing or taking testimony on the bills during a work session. I may invite a witness to come forward for any clarifications, but we are just asking questions about amendments if there are any, and then voting on them. So our committee policy analyst, Ms. Prohl, will be walking us through the work session document. And Ms. Prohl, please begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Haley Prohl, for the record. As nonpartisan staff of the LCB, I neither support nor oppose any measures before you today. I will just be walking the committee through the work session document. The first bill for the committee's consideration today is Assembly Bill 123, sponsored by Assemblymember Nadim and heard in committee on March 18th. Assembly Bill 123 prohibits a person from threatening the life of another person during any speech or other communication made in the course of his or her political campaign if the threat is made with conscious disregard for the substantial and unjustifiable risk of harm to another, and in a manner in which the target of the threat reasonably fears the threat will be carried out. Assemblymember Nadim proposed the attached amendment, which seeks to make the following changes. 1, strike the existing language of subsection 1 of section 1 and replace it with language prohibiting a person from directly or indirectly addressing any threat or intimidation to a candidate for public office if the person knows or has reason to know that the threat or intimidation communicates the intent to cause or induce another to cause bodily injury to a candidate or a candidate's family member or physical damage to the property of a candidate or candidate's family member. 2, require the Secretary of State, upon written correspondence by a candidate who believes Section 1 of the bill has been violated, to issue a written report to the candidate within 30 days of receipt of the correspondence that describes whether the alleged conduct violates Section 1 of the bill, provided that jurisdiction to prosecute a case lies with the Office of the Attorney General. And 3, add co-sponsors of the bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Okay, thank you. I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass AB 123.
So move to amend and do pass.
Thank you. I have a motion from Vice Chair Gonzalez and a second from Assemblymember Howdigi. Any discussion on the motion? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I am going to be a no, and I think there's maybe a few other in the caucus that will also be a no. But specifically on this one, the inclusion of the person by words or conduct places the person receiving the threat in reasonable fear that the threat will be carried out doesn't seem to be in this amended language. And so for that reason, I must be a no.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Nay. And the motion carries. We have nays from Assemblymember Hibbets, Assemblymember Cole, Assemblymember Edgeworth, and Assemblymember Dickman. Thank you. Oh, motion carries, and I will assign the floor statement to Assemblymember Nadeem. Next bill, please.
Thank you, Chair. Haley Pearl for the record. The next bill on work session is Assembly Bill 237, sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Government Affairs on behalf of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, heard in committee on February 25th. Assembly Bill 237 authorizes any county to create the Office of Registrar of Voters. There are no amendments. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to do pass Assembly Bill 237.
Motion to do pass, AB 237.
Thank you. I have a motion from Vice Chair Gonzalez.
Second.
A second from Assembly Member Hatteke. Thank you so much. Are there any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Okay, I have nays from Assemblymember Hibbets, Assemblymember Cole, Assemblymember Edgeworth, and Assemblymember Dickman. The motion carries. I will assign the floor statement to Assemblymember Gonzalez.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Next bill, please.
Thank you, Chair. Haley Pearl for the record. The next bill is Assembly Bill 249, sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Ways and Means and heard in committee on March 6th. Assembly Bill 249 amends the statement relating to the fiscal effect on the state in the summary of a bill or joint resolution from effect on the state yes to effect on the state may have fiscal impact. Additionally, the bill revises the deadline for posting the fiscal note for an initiative or referendum petition on the website of the Secretary of State to not later than 10 business days after the last day to file a complaint challenging the description of the effect of the petition, unless such a complaint is filed, in which case the deadline is not later than 10 business days after the first judicial district court issues a decision on the challenge. There are two proposed amendments attached. The first, by the Nevada Association of Counties, proposes to authorize the Fiscal Analysis Division of the Legislative Counsel Bureau to extend the period for local governments to submit fiscal notes for not more than 7 additional working days if the matter requires extended research. The second amendment, from the Nevada Chapter Associated General Contractors, proposes to require fiscal notes to contain a statement regarding the effect of the bill or joint resolution on the state highway fund. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Assemblymember Monroe Moreno.
Chair, in looking over the amendment from the Nevada Chapter of Associated General Contractors, it appears the incorrect amendment was submitted for the work session in the green section where it says effective on the state highway fund. Yes, it should be may.
Thank you so much. Please note, members, that change. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, thank you. So I will accept a motion to amend and do pass AB 249 with the change that we just discussed.
I motion to amend and do pass.
Thank you. I have the motion from Vice Chair Gonzalez. Do you have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Assemblymember Hatteke. Thank you so much. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. I will assign the floor statement to Assemblymember Monroe Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next bill, please.
Thank you, Chair. Haley Pearl for the record. The next bill on work session is Assembly Bill 254, sponsored by Assemblymember Mosca and heard in committee on March 20th. Assembly Bill 254 creates the Community Project Grant Program at the state legislative level for the purpose of awarding grants to private nonprofit organizations to conduct projects that benefit communities in Nevada. Grant applications must be submitted by a legislator on behalf of a nonprofit organization for a project within the legislator's district. Additionally, the Legislative Commission must adopt regulations to carry out the grant program. The bill further creates the account for the Community Project Grant Program in the Legislative Fund to fund the grant program, and requires the Director of the Legislative Council Bureau or his or her designee to administer the grant program and account, and to submit a biennial report to the legislature regarding the grant program. The director may also apply for grants and accept gifts or other sources of money for deposit in the account. Assemblymember Mosca proposed an amendment to make the following changes. 1, clarify that grants from the grant program are awarded to nonprofit corporations that serve the public. 2, require the Office of Federal Assistance to administer the grant program rather than having legislators submit grant applications on behalf of nonprofit organizations. 3, require the Office of Federal Assistance to create regulations that the Interim Finance Committee may adopt to carry out the grant program. 4, require such regulations to prescribe a separate rubric for newly established or small nonprofit organizations for the purpose of awarding grants. And number 5, I would like to bring to the committee's attention, as written is not the intent of the amendment. The intent is to require a biennial report to be submitted each odd-numbered year containing information on grants requested, in addition to the report that shall be submitted each even-numbered year related to grants awarded. So again, the number 5 is incorrect as written, and the intent is for both reports to be submitted. Number 6, create the account for the Community Project Grant Program in the Office of Federal Assistance rather than the Legislative Fund. And finally, add Assemblymember Monroe Moreno as a primary co-sponsor of the bill and Assemblymember Gonzalez as a co-sponsor of the bill. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 254.
So move to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 254.
Thank you. Vice Chair Gonzalez has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carries. I will assign the floor statement to myself. Thank you so much. And our last bill today on work session, please, Ms. Prohl.
Thank you, Chair. Haley Pearl for the record. The last bill in work session is Assembly Bill 306, sponsored by Assembly Members Yeager, Monroe Moreno, and Mosca, and Senators Cannizzaro and Orenshaw, heard in committee on March 13th. Assembly Bill 306 requires county clerks in certain counties for the period beginning the day after the last day of early voting and ending the day before Election Day to establish a certain number of ballot drop boxes that must be open for at least 7 hours a day. Specifically, in a county whose population is 700,000 or more, the county clerk must establish 10 ballot drop boxes. And in a county whose population is 100,000 or more and less than 700,000, the county clerk must establish 5 ballot drop boxes. In counties whose population is less than 100,000, the county clerk may establish any number of ballot drop boxes and prescribe the hours for such locations to be open. Assemblymember Yeager proposed the attached amendment to 1, require ballot drop boxes to be continuously monitored at all times when in use and secured when not in use, and 2, require the Secretary of State to establish by regulation the requirements for the monitoring and securing of ballot drop boxes. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, are there any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 306.
Motion to amend and do pass Assembly Bill 306.
We have a motion from Vice Chair Gonzalez and a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Yes, Assemblymember Cole.
Thank you very much, Chair. I appreciate the fact that Assemblymember Yeager put in the proposed amendment addressing some of my concerns. So I'm going to be a yes out of committee, but will reserve my right to change my vote to a no. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay.
Nay.
And hands, please. We have a nay from Assemblymember Hibbets, Assemblymember Edgeworth, and Assemblymember Dickman. The motion carries. I will sign the floor statement to Assemblymember Monroe Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And because of that, we will now close the work session. Okay, thank you, committee. Thank you, Ms. Prohl. Our last item of business today is public comment. Each person has 2 minutes to provide testimony. Written public comment may also be submitted to the committee up to 24 hours after the meeting. Members of the public may comment on anything related to legislative operations and elections, but not on any bills that we heard today. We didn't hear any bills today, but make sure it's about lead jobs and elections, and please state and spell your name for the record. I won't start your 2 minutes till after you spell your name. And finally, I'll remind everyone of the call-in number and ID today. If you wish to give public comment, the call-in number is 888-475-4499, and the meeting ID is 820-3966-2508. And with that, we'll start with Carson City. Okay, thank you. Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Seeing none, AVH, we'll open the phone lines for public comment.
If you would like to provide public comment, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Again, if you wish to provide public comment, please press star 9.
Good afternoon. My name is Iris Stone, Stone. And earlier today, on the Committee of Education, they had a hearing on a bill with a significant portion that relates to elections, which is why I wanted to bring it to this committee's attention. Specifically, AB 420, Section 3, establishes the Voter Access Grant Program for the Secretary of State to hand out money in the form of grants to, quote, eligible entities, unquote. The purpose of this program would allow the Secretary of State to pay for supplies and equipment, give extra pay to his employees, pay for voter outreach, and any other project the Secretary of State deems eligible. Nothing is off limits. In addition, Section 4, subsection 2 states, quote, the Secretary of State may apply for and accept any donation, gift, grant, bequest, or other source of money for deposit into the account. And once, unquote, and once the money is deposited, it stays there and cannot revert to the state general fund. This borders on the subversive, in my opinion, and this should not be permitted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. AVH, next caller, please.
If you recently joined the call and would like to provide public comment, please press star 9.
Good afternoon. My name is Ellen Gifford, ELLEN, GISS as in Frank, ORD as in David. Article 4, Section 17 of the Nevada Constitution mandates that each law enacted by the legislature shall embrace but one subject and matter properly connected therewith, which subject shall be briefly expressed in the title. NRS 218D 100 mandates the Legislative Council shall not honor a request, the drafting of a legislative measure which has been combined in violation of Section 17 of Article 4 of the Nevada Constitution, which we just quoted. Any bill such as AB 420 that combines multiple subjects violates the Nevada Constitution and the statutes and must be withdrawn and addressed by the Legislative Council. Thank you.
Thank you. AVH, next caller, please.
Thank you, Chair. We have no additional callers for public comment at this time.
Thank you. Not seeing any others, I will close public comment. Members, our next meeting will be Tuesday, April 1st at 4 p.m. We will see some of you at Ways and Means shortly, and seeing no further business before us, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.